Hey residents of Meepletown, today we are trying to protect the city from the hordes of all the monsters that are coming to attack us in Kingdom Rush, which is a giant box game. We're going to be working together as a team to prevent these hordes from coming in. So let's get to the table and check out Kingdom Rush. Okay, here is the setup for Kingdom Rush, and with a big box game comes a lot of components, and just know that this is only just a smattering. I have set up this second scenario, which is a pretty basic scenario that uses these extra special abilities that you don't see at the beginning, the first scenario. So I thought I would do this one, but also not move too far ahead, so I don't have any spoilers for what cards and the setup and all of that. So basically we have this map, and we have at the map these hordes that are going to be coming down this path trying to enter into the kingdom. If they do, if they defeat our 4 health, which is the setup that we have, then we will lose the game. We will win the game by defeating the portals that they have sending out here. Now the portals are these purple cards that are going to be coming out. What makes those different is we'll not be able to attack with our heroes on those portal cards, and I'll explain what that looks like in just a minute. But basically, we each have, I'm setting up for a 2-player game. I've got Malik Hammer Fury, and we got Alaria Swiftwind. And Malik has got a hammer and is ready to use this thing to really pound on those trays. Malik also has a health that is higher than Alaria's because he's going to be going in there again, smashing melee style, smashing with the hammer. Alaria health is a little bit lower. She can move quicker around the board. She has a speed of 3 as opposed to Malik's 2. But her health is lower, but she'll be attacking archery style, usually away from the trays. But she does have a wildcat friend who is going to be attacking on the trays themselves. And the wildcat's health is only a 1, but it will keep coming back. All right, we also each start off with these different tower cards. Alaria is going to be the green player, which means they'll be able to play their tower cards onto these green flag spots. And Malik is going to be the purple gem player, which means he'll be able to play on those purple spots. We'll also be able to pay for new cards and upgrade the cards that we have. As the game goes on, we're going to be spending these crystals in order to do that. I'll explain that when that happens. All right, so let's go ahead and just dive into this. I'm going to play through a round of this just to show you how the game plays out. First off, we're going to start off and everything is listed on your player board, the things that you can do. So the first thing you're going to do is spawn new hordes. Now, because it's the first round, that does not happen because we actually already have the hordes on there. I didn't mention this, but these cards, it tells you how to set up these cards with the different numbers at the bottom. So like in this case, I have a, 2 of the Goblin level 1 cards that are out there. And there's different ones, so you shuffle those up, and then those are random. But the order that these cards go in is not random, just the specific cards that you use in each deck are. Hope that makes sense. And I mentioned we've got these trays, and those are going to be what you put those cards into. So first time, we're not going to spawn new hordes because they're already out there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to play tower and hero cards, and basically this is how we're going to attack those different hordes of monsters that are coming to invade our kingdom. So how do we do that? We are going to, Malik can only play his tower cards onto these purple spaces, and the direction matters for how that card is placed. So if I place a card like this, the Bombard card, this means I'll be able to attack with a single Bombard token, this one thing here, on this tray, and then one in this direction if there was a tray right here. And these will reset at the end of the round. So what you set up right now is not necessarily, if not, going to stay there at all for the next round. So I can do that. I can place that, and then I immediately am going to place those tokens on there. I also can activate my hero, and I do that by putting my card here, and then I can move, again, Malik can move 2 spaces. I can move through trays. You can also move diagonal, so if I started here, I could go here, or if I could just go straight on here and then go up to here if I wanted to. So they would move their amount of movement that they can move, and then they can use an attack or take an action. So that might be attacking, it might be recovering. Recovering is how you fill these up or you recover your health on your hero board. So I can do that. I can activate my character. I can play these cards. I can also, if I want to be able to upgrade these cards, this is a pretty interesting piece, and you're going to want to upgrade cards. In this scenario specifically, we only have 3 different levels of those upgrade for 4 different cards, and all of these work differently, but it costs money to buy new cards, but the cards that you have available, you can upgrade. Now, if I want to do that, if Malik has these cards, and we each start off with the cards listed on our player board, then what I would do is I would take this card and I would discard it back to the pile, and then I would take the level 2 card and not keep it, but pass it to the other player going face down. So they wouldn't be able to use that upgraded card this round. However, they would be able to use it in the next round and then on later turns. And you can do that as many times as you want, but the problem is these trays are going to be moving, and as they move, it makes it a little more difficult for us. So we want to be able to attack them, but also upgrade our cards the most efficiently that we can. So what I might do is, I think, let me just kind of show how this plays out. So let me activate my character first. Malik is going to go here, and Malik is just going to sacrifice himself a little bit to jump right into this spot, right in the let's say not there, kind of in the center of the board. But I'm going to activate that, and yeah, that's fine. So what happens with Malik's basic action? So he moved, and he can go on that tray anywhere he wants. For each blank square covered by Malik, I'm going to put one of my tokens on an adjacent horde. So what that means is I've got one blank spot there. I can go here and put this here. Now, why I would want to put this on this one that has the double arrows is because this one's going to get a double movement if that spot is not covered up. Double movement means that it would go into the kingdom for every uncovered square we have here. We're going to lose that many health. And we only start off in this, with this setup, with this difficulty, we only start off with 4 health. So these trays, for sure, we want to make sure that they're not going to move. That's one way to do it, is to block out those spots so they don't move twice. But also, I don't need to do this, because if Malik, a hero, or one of the soldiers is on a tray, that tray will not move. So it's not going to move anyway, even if I didn't have that there, or if I put a soldier on that tray, that would be another way to stop it. So I did that. Malik's also going to look for an opportunity. I would like to go ahead and take this tray out if I can, and so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my archer card, and I'm going to put this here. And the arrows show which direction you're going to be attacking. So in this case, I can send one of these 2 archer tiles, the 2-block archer tile, either here, here, or here. I can't send it to all 3 of those spaces. Some of the cards, like the Bombard card that we start off with, allows you to attack 2 different spaces, but the archer is not one of them. So I'm going to attack there, and it has to go in the same direction that it's pointing. So if it was pointing this way, that piece would go this way. So you have to figure out the best way to move those around. And you're going to be taking your actions together, again, since you're working together. So I'll go ahead and take one of Illyria's actions. Illyria is, again, an archer where she can attack with one of these arrow tokens from a distance of 1 if it's an angled shot, or a distance of 2 if it's straight on, whichever direction that she is facing. So her attack is going to be pretty good. Now I think what she's going to do, she's going to go ahead and move out here, and because she has a distance attack, she can do this from, let's see, I think what I'll do is I'm going to move up here. Nope. Let's say I've got 3 movement, right? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go over here, and because she can attack with 2, a level 2 with any direction, what she's going to do is send this one, let's see. She's going to send this one right here to stop that spot. And now she also can send one of those in any directions, and also a 1 token can go anywhere on there. Because again, I want to try to stop this tray, I will put that on there. to slow down the speed if I can. Now, she also has a Wildcat, I mentioned this earlier, that can move 2 spaces. And so when she is activated, the Wildcat's going to come out where she is and go 2 spaces on to this tile. Now, the thing you have to be careful with the Wildcat is if it takes a damage, it's going to be out. It's going to get damaged. And so the ways that the things get damaged is if you have a character that's on a tray, whenever you go through that movement part, it would get damaged, or if the tray is destroyed, it would get damaged. Now, the Wildcat's a little bit different because it doesn't take damage when the tray is destroyed. So what we really need to do is make sure that we're going to destroy this tray so that we don't have to worry about worry about how that's going to be affect the tray. So we got to figure out a way that we can destroy it. We can get Malik to place a bombard out here that would allow it to take a 1 damage on there, which might help. We got a militia that's also going to do a damage. We also have an archer, so I think what Alaria's going to do, and we did activate Alaria, so we'll put her card right there. Archer is going to attack with, again, a level 2 facing that direction. So I think what I'll do is place that right here. And now I've got 2 more spots to cover up on there. And I want to be as efficient as I possibly can, but that might not work out the way that I want to. So this card right here, the Mage card, is really limited, especially with what is out there. Now I can place this right here, but it's not going to be the most efficient thing to do because it will block, it will take out 2 of those, but then still leave 1 on there. So I think what I'm going to do is I might hold back on this one, and I'm probably going to try to upgrade this one. Now I have the militia one that I can use. I've got 2 militias. I might not be able to take out both of these trays is the problem. Or I guess maybe I could. Yeah, potentially I could. We'll see. Let's see. So I'm going to go back over to, let's see, back over to Malik. And Malik is going to want to attack, I think, this tray with a 1. And then also try to... I don't think I'm going to be able to stop that tray as much as I want to. I probably should have planned this out a little bit better. So I'm going to take that off of there. Let's see. I'm going to work on, I think instead of upgrading this tray, what Alaria's going to do is put that there, and even though it's not the most efficient way to do things, is going to put this token on here, meaning I still have 1 more spot that I need to knock out. And the only way that I can do that is with the bombard token, I believe. Yes, that's right. So I'm going to place this right. I cannot do that. I did not plan that out well. So instead of doing that, I think what I'll do is I'm going to use this. I'm gonna be okay with, yeah, I'll put this here. So put the bombard token right there, and when I do that, I can fill that last spot, and then whenever that comes up, I will destroy the tray, that horde tray. Now this one, again, I'm not going to be able to stop this one the way that I want to. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I will just put 1. I don't need to put a soldier on there. Remember, soldiers are going to stop the tray from moving, but I also have the Wildcat, which in this scenario, or all scenarios, acts as a hero, so that would actually stop movement on that tray as well. This is actually a terrible way to start this off. I probably should have planned this a little bit better, but that's okay. I'm just playing through 1 round, but just know that I'm in a bad spot. So instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this in, the militia, and I'm going to pass the footmen over to Alaria, and then she's going to do the same thing. Now, footmen, what that's going to do is allow you to put 2 soldiers onto that tray from that the straight-on angle. All right, So now we've played all of our cards. That is going to be the end of that phase. We've activated our heroes, done all the basic attacks and everything like that. Again, this was not the most efficient. Hindsight, what I should have done probably is instead of using my basic attack, I could have used the Call of the Wild, which allows me to put 4 of these single tokens on the tray where the Wildcat is. And if I would have done that, then I would have had to flip that over, and until I recover, I won't be able to take that action again. Your basic attack you can use over and over again. It's always going to be available. There's also spells and things like that come up later on, but not in this scenario. Okay, played all of our cards. Now we want to, we're going to destroy the Horde trays. So all the ones that have all of the spots covered up, we are going to destroy that tray. Now my hero is just going to come off and go into this spot, but because the hero was on the tray when the Horde was destroyed, then what we're going to do is we're going to lose a health for Malik. Malik, again, has a lot of health and is going to be like really getting into those battles, and so that's going to happen a lot for Malik. These pieces are going to come off, that Horde tray goes away, but the card is going to have a crystal on here, and that's going to show us that we're going to take a crystal that we'll be able to spend to get new cards during that phase of the game. So we'll get rid of that card. Next thing we do is, that's the only tray that we're going to destroy. Now we will advance the Horde trays. Now actually this may have worked out for me to show you how this plays out. This one again has a hero on it, so it's not going to go anywhere. However, because the tray was not destroyed, the Wildcat will actually be taken off the board, and then we'll go back into the Alaria spot whenever Alaria activates next time. Now, again, this tray is not going to move. This tray will move, and again, I mentioned that it's got those arrows on there, so it's going to move 2. Now, it's going to move 1, and it can't move into the same spot, so what it's going to do is leapfrog over here. So now, a reason why we're a little bit in trouble, we'll be able to stop those 2 for sure, but if this tray gets through untouched, we'd lose the game. I mean, so you have to really focus your attention on being very intentional about the trays, their movements, where they're going to go, and the ones that you want to take out, and the ones that you're going to allow to move on. And again, remember, if I do have a hero on that tile or a soldier, it's not going to move. But other trays, if they're going to pile up in the back, they're going to move ahead of that. So you really have to manage that in this game. That's what this game is all about. All right. So that is that phase where we destroyed the Horde tray, we advanced the Horde trays. Now we're going to pick up the tower and the hero card. So we're just going to take these cards back into our hands. And you can tell, I actually didn't look this up. Again, we're not playing second round. You can tell that's why you have the towers here that have your colors that match to show you which ones are yours. So you're going to take the cards that you have. One of those was not mine. I don't remember which one it was now. I think it was the mage. So then I take all of my cards back, and I have these in my hand to play for the next round. After I pick those up, we're also going to pick our hero card up to know that we can activate them again for the next round. And then the last thing that we're going to do is spend crystals. And how you do this is it's going to cost 2 crystals to buy a level 1 card, 3 crystals to buy a level 2 card, and we can buy as many as we want. Now we do have 6 to use right now, so we might consider putting 3 into buying, let's say, the Adept, which is going to allow us to put this little, 4 Tetrasy piece on there. And let's say we want Alaria to take that one. And then we've got 3 more to spend. We don't have to, but if we want to, then we can spend these. And we might want to buy a level 2 Marksman, which will allow us to put this little corner piece on there in any direction and in a range of 1, but either straight ahead or at one of those angles. So then Malik might take that one, and now we've got an extra card to work with. And that is going to be the end of the round. Now what's going to happen is you would start a new round and by spawning heroes, okay? And because we didn't do that in the first round, I'll just show you how that works. We're going to take this card right here and flip it over. We'll spawn the first spot first, and sometimes you might have 2 numbers in one spot, so you would spawn 2 cards from there. This card's going to go out here with the little border down there at the bottom facing towards the bottom, and then this one is going to go the same right here. Now, if there was a tray right here, this would actually skip over that just like it would in movement. So it's possible if we had this board filled up, this one would go directly here as it spawned out. The portals will come out a little bit later. When these come out, again, you can't use any heroes to stop these. You also cannot cover up that center place. On this one specifically, you have a character on here that if this one is not covered up, then the whole board is going to heal up at the end of the round. So these pieces wouldn't stay on there, but they would actually go away. And then one that says that you cannot attack this spot with magic. So different cards are going to have different abilities and different ways that make it more difficult and challenging for you to be able to defeat those. So again, you're going to keep playing through that until you either lose all of your health for your kingdom border down here, or you'll win if you defeat all of these portal cards mentioned. Now, each scenario has different rules that go along with that can change any of that. That can change up, the obviously it changes up the map, and it's going to change up the location of your tower spots. It's going to change the rules, the conditions. It's going to add new cards out here. Lots of different things, spells that we didn't have. So lots of different things that's going to change throughout the game. Now, I didn't mention this, and I'll kind of wrap this up as we talk about, kind of move into the art and components, but you're going to have this map, and I don't have any of this stickered because sometimes it's hard for me to sticker games. I'm one of those. So you have this map, and that it's going to have these different locations. The first one that we're playing, that we would have played, is Rift in Time. Now, if we defeated that on the level 3, then we would put 3 stars out here, indicating, just like the video game, indicating that we have completed that to the highest level. There's also stickers that you can put on there if you complete it on the heroic challenge or the iron challenge, which is even more difficult than that level 3. So you have those that you're going to add, which is a really nice touch for this game for sure. Now, the art and components in general, I think there's a lot of components. The components are great. You've got these miniatures. You didn't necessarily have to have those, but I think they add a nice feel to the game. The art, I think, is really cool. It gives you that video game kind of vibe to it. Even the text, the font that's used in the rule book puts you in that setting that you're playing a tower defense game with a video game that is a tower defense game. So all of that kind of puts you in the field. You've got these nice little soldier meeples here. All the tiles are nice, thick. These cards are really thick and good material. The plastic trays, everything was thought out so well in this game. And there's a lot in the box. There's a ton more of these tiles, a lot more cards, a lot more of these bigger cards for the horde trays. There's just a lot of components, and I'm just talking, this isn't Kickstarter stuff. This is just the retail version of this game. You're going to get a lot in this box. Now on to the gameplay. Is the gameplay fun? Well, if you like tower defense games, then yeah, probably. I think it will be. This is a really good tower defense game, actually. It's a thinky game, okay? So it's a game where you have to think through every move, and you want to be the most efficient. That's what this game is about efficiently placing your towers and efficiently placing your heroes and attacking with your heroes and timing how the trays are going to come out, where they're going to move. So it becomes very thinky, which can mean that this game can have some analysis paralysis for sure. You can really get stuck on a scenario where you're, just with one round thinking through for a long time and trying to map things out. I think ideally the way that I like to play this is that you kind of limit that, right? You're not constantly putting cards down, picking them up, and you're doing that. Like, you play something, you're done, that's your movement, move on to the next thing. Even if it's not the most efficient, you learn from that, you move on. But I like playing this a little bit faster than having that really long time, real thinky, crunchy, mathing it out that this game can turn into if you allow it to. Again, if you like tower defense games, this could be one that is really well done. I think overall the rule set's pretty simple. There are some things you might have to look back to, and like for example, Laria's Wildcat, there's some rules that go along with that can be kind of tricky. The way that your abilities are on your board can be tricky, so you might have to refer back to the rule book, and then some things like how the portal tile works. And I may have missed things in this teach just because I'm talking so much, but there's different things you might have to refer back to the rule set too, but I do think overall this is a pretty simple game. Once you've played through a couple games, it becomes quick, right? Each round can play out pretty quickly and it becomes enjoyable. And then, I've completed this one at this higher level. I want to go ahead and do the next one. So it's almost like, once I've completed this, I want to keep playing this game because each scenario is different and it's fun and it unlocks new things. And I really like a lot about what this game is doing and how it matures, right? How this game evolves as you play it. I think is really, really well done, and I like it quite a bit. So I'm going to give this one a 7.5 out of 8. 7.5 out of 10. It's actually more towards that 8 side of things. The big thing is, honestly, is that I mentioned this, I like to play it quickly, but sometimes you can really get hung up on spending too much time planning and mathing things out that it can take away from the enjoyment of it. But again, this is close to an 8. I'm going to keep it at a 7.5. The more I play this, I can see this actually kind of bumping up. The more it unlocks things, and I've played it quite a bit right now. But the more the things unlock and the more things happen, I really enjoy it. So anyway, it's a 7.5 for me. Really good game. I really recommend this, especially if you're looking for a good tower defense game. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can reach out to us at Meepletown Games. That's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can go to MeepletownGames.com to see all of our content, all of our videos on there. We have a podcast and written reviews, things like that. You can also go to Board Game Geek Guild number 3407 to connect with our community there. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Meepletown Games and connect with us on the Meepletown Guild number 3407 at BoardGameGeek.com. And also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.